My local store had half-price chickpeas, so time to do some canning today.
All right, so I just brought my big stock pot up to a boil and I dumped all the chickpeas in. This is 4 pounds of dried beans. I just gave them a quick rinse and picked out any little ucky bits or broken ones. I didn't have any rocks this time, but there always can be. So I'm gonna pop these in here for 2 minutes. This is the quick soak method. 2 minutes and then turn off the heat and let them sit for an hour. Coming up to a boil again. I'm just gonna scoop up these couple that are floating here. All right, so these have been soaking for an hour and I'm just gonna change the water, bring them back to a boil and simmer for 30 minutes. And then I'll be ready. All right, so I just took my chickpeas off the 30-minute simmer. You see they've expanded quite a bit. Now I'm using an electric canner, but you can use a stovetop one. I just have a glass stovetop and the manufacturer recommends not using my particular stove. It's probably close to 20 years old. So this is pressure canner. So first, before I start canning, I have to warm the pressure canner. So I'm gonna push pressure can, and then dry beans are 90 minutes for quarts, 75 minutes for pints. I'm gonna do quarts today because that's how much we use. So 90 minutes. And then I'm gonna insert my jars. I just have them cleaning in the sink. All right, so I clean these before I put them away, but then I just like to give them a quick wash before I use them. So in here, there's a fill line. It's about 2 inches from the bottom of water, and then you fill these about halfway full. This one's a little better. You're not gonna can with this water. You're gonna pour it out, but it's just to get the jars up to temperature. Because remember, we wanna be putting warm jars, warm canner, warm material. Okay, so the electric canner only fits 5 quarts. So I've got those in there. Put on our lid and press go, and now it's warming up. You don't need to shut this, it's just warming the jars. It's not getting under pressure right now. All right, I'll bring you back when I'm filling up my jars. All right, so now it says filled jars. I just took one out and just dumped the water out of the bottom, and each quart jar is gonna go a teaspoon of salt. You can do less if you like, or no salt at all. I did do pinto beans last time and did no salt at all, but I find I actually quite like the salt in it. So beans, even though these have been soaked and simmered, they're still going to expand quite a bit. So you're gonna fill up your jar about 2/3 of the way with beans and the rest of the way with water to 1-inch headspace. And I actually did manage to find my little headspace tool. You can use this to get the air bubbles out with this side, and then check your headspace on here. All right. Okay, so that's about all the beans I want to put in. And then I'm just going to use my cooking liquid to top up to 1 inch. Grab my tool and just go down along the edge, just make sure there's no air bubbles. And then this is going to be a little bit below, but so this is 1-inch headspace and it's about even to right here. Oh, this jar's hot. So I know that's not quite there. Just going to top up with a little bit. That should be good there. And I'm at 1-inch headspace. There really shouldn't be any residue on this, but just to keep in the habit, I always wipe my lids, wipe my rims, and I always have my jar is ready to go. And pop this right in the canner. And I'm just gonna go through and fill the rest of my jars. All right, so this is just my last jar. It's all in there. Put on the lid. And this time we are gonna close it up, but we're not gonna put our regulator on yet. So fill jars, we're now filled. Now it's gonna heat this up, and next step will be putting on the regulator. All right, so venting is complete, and now it says put regulator on. Where's my regulator? Here it is. So you're gonna just make sure it says vent, can, vent. You're gonna make sure it's in the can position. That's it. There you go, that's it. Now it's starting to can. Went through a cycle, and cool down takes about an hour and a half, so I'm just about to go get the kids off the bus. This says done, but this, I don't know if you can see that, this is still up. So I just have to wait, usually just takes a couple minutes. Usually it just comes down on its own, but sometimes you have to wait a couple minutes after it's gone through this cycle. So as soon as that comes down, I'll open it up and take them out. All right, I just pulled the last 4 quarts from the canner. So in total, I made 9 quarts for my $4 in chickpeas. And then I also calculated $2 for the lids. I usually get lids for $2.50 for a 12 pack, and I used 9 lids. So we're roughly at 67 cents per jar. There we go. So another item I'm using to top back up my pantry shelves, and pretty cost effective too, especially if you can get stuff in the discount bin.